Okay, yeah, thanks, Boris, for the invitational words. Thanks, Dirk, as well, for the introduction and the sneak peek already on our Marvin. I want to welcome the audience. Kind of new situation for me as well, as I guess for many of you. It's my first digital experience day providing the presentation to the audience. So last time with the DWW, there was kind of similar thing with me and the headphones on and the microphone with the silent talk we did. So now you see every experience day we go and run a new experience for us as for you as well as our participants. So what are we going to talk within next couple of minutes? It's all about artificial intelligence, the chatbots, and your workplace, which becomes more intelligent. So kicking off by, okay, maybe a quote by Pablo Picasso. So every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once he grows up. So you might now actually ask, what the heck, why is he telling about Pablo Picasso when he's talking about AI, artificial intelligence? So it's actually, we know there is a lot of work for us to do, even these days when things become more complex, not being in the office, not being together as a team. And therefore, sometimes the time where you can be creative is less than you might have been known in the past, or you might have had a time in the past. So this is actually, I really like that quote. And later on throughout the presentation, you will see why I actually picked this one. Another quote, this time it's by Gartner, with us saying that by 2022, at least 70% of white-collar workers will interact with conversational platforms on a daily basis. So what's the conversational platform? These are chatbots like our Marvin. And you see it even becomes more and more important. And if we might think of AI and all those robots and seeing those guys in the background here, they might not look like these guys, but they will have the power to help all of us to get more free space to do our work faster and easier, and most important, I guess, for all of us, provide an extraordinary user experience for our employees and customers. Why it's even getting more and more important. So you might have heard of the term new work. So what is this all about? So new work is I, as a human, want to work from everywhere, as we now do. We all in the home, most of us are at home, working from home, maybe working during travels. You see all those, the bunch of young employees in here, a cool fancy office where they just collaborate and live the new work style. So the new work is actually all about having some kind of autonomy, being able to decide when and where to actually work on. So this is the go-to theme of, let's say, the new employees, which might hit you as well. And for sure, we kind of all need to be prepared, because those people do have a certain expectation. And this is actually here. So what do those people expect from the IT, from solution times and stuff when they get their help? So actually they are in the process of working, of chatting, they always get fast response. So they want to have the fast resolution times, and even more, they want to have it all around the clock. So it's 24/7 support for them. They want to be independent from the location. So if I'm in the office, if I move, if I travel, if I maybe just somewhere out and have my shift, which I need to start and pick the next device and want to work with it. And as well, when you be all around the place, all around the world, you want to have a full transparency of your requests and services. So what did I open on tickets, for example? Which services did I request recently? What's the status of it? Do I still need to wait on my VPN connection or my software, my particular software I need for the project? So these are all things they want to know to finally be a highly productive and efficient member of the company, of the team. So all those things are really driving us and our customers at the time. What's about IT? Which challenges do they face when they have, on the other hand, those expectations from the end users? So IT always has a high workload, and this hasn't become less in the past couple of years due to all new technology supporting several devices. Bring your own device. The heterogeneous systems they provide and stuff. So it's even the load is increasing for our support stuff. What's about the high startup phases on and long solution times on tickets, for example. So when things start to get complex, you have a variety of involved parties. So other providers, other devices you might not know, other operating systems. So nowadays you don't only find a Mac or a Windows device in your company. So it's a mix of all of it. And these startup phases take very long to really get into the issue, understand what the root cause is, and then finally, hopefully, fix it. And all those fixing, finding stuff, everything drives a certain knowledge base. And it's really a complex thing to maintain your knowledge base, to keep the articles up to date, to provide the most recent information to the users. And this is, as it said, time consuming and most common. It's really a complex thing to really see, okay, these are the topics they did request, and these are the topics which did help lately. And on the other hand, there is no time for creative and creative tasks due to all the other complexity things. This was, again, Pablo Picasso saying, hey, we have been childs. We should be childs again, but we somehow on the track lost it. So this might be a reason that we're overwhelmed by work, not being able to do the really complex and creative tasks. And sure, IT is always pushed and under the gun to provide a superior service experience for our end users. And actually, the result out of it, so how is reality? Reaction times and availability and IT quality or quality of IT services does not meet the requirements of our end users. And this actually is bad marketing for IT, and I assume that nobody from us really does like it and wants to really change it and is even working harder on the things to change it. And maybe thinking on, oh, how can I resolve it? How can I help my customers faster? How can we speed up with the team? And again, some of our experiences we got during talks with our customers and actually challenged them by these questions. And the response was that sometimes even for trivial requests, which are more or less simply resetting your password after vacation because you have been 3 weeks off, you did forget the password or one of your dozen passwords you do need to use. And resetting the password might even take up to 4 hours. And you can just imagine, don't be able to work 4 hours on the first day after vacation, puts you on stress because you can't get work done. You're highly motivated to do it, but for any reason, you can't solve it. So it's even up to 16 hours when you think on simple requests. So as a simple request, for example, we do classify getting a new software as well as the license to the software. And this overall really leads to poorly rated service quality. And the IT reputation, as you might think, will not be the best throughout the company. And yeah, one thing I guess we all know by now, our dear friend COVID-19 had a huge impact actually on the whole scenario as well. If you see the lower chart, so you see that China, the time they did lock down, the amount of requests for remote work really peaked from almost, if you see the graph, it's not zero, but it's close to zero, up to 600,000 K on users which did request remote work. And just fun fact up there, which is the questionnaire, and actually we see that COVID really is pushing digitalization and the transformation from a standard company to a digital led company. And as all of you, we did think as well, what's the solution on it? Sure, we can request more people, put more resources on it, but I guess this is not a scalable thing. And so we said, okay, maybe the solution is we do need more automation. And what does more automation in that context means for Matrix42 is we do have more automation using Marvin. So Marvin, as I said already, this is our chatbot, which is at your hand. Next couple slides will actually explain you what we deliver with Marvin or how you might interact with Marvin, how the users will see him. So Marvin is our touch point for the employee. So there is only one single thing he needs to know. Go up, open up Teams, open your chat platform, and go reach out to Marvin. You will get help. And the most important thing is you will get help from different sources. So there might be just a simple question. You can't find something, you don't know how to connect the printer. Then Marvin is actually picking the resolution or the solution of the question from the knowledge base. Then on the other hand, once you did connect your printer, you might missing some fonts, some particular software to scan and print, which can then actually be found in the service catalog. So you do have the automation piece. Marvin gets the data from the user. This then is passed on to our service catalog, and all of a sudden you get our automation piece bringing the software to you. And in any cases Marvin is not able to help, he might reach out to the service desk, asking his human counterparts for more help by creating the tickets. And on the other hand, which is kind of the active part from the user, there is the active part from IT. So IT is now able to broadcast announcements using Marvin, saying, okay, we do know, for example, SAP is currently down, is affected. We do have some issues, so don't worry, we're on it. No need to actually create more and more tickets. We will help you in a couple minutes, for example. It will just don't take that long. And how do we really reach that goal? How do you interact with Marvin? How he can learn from you is that kind of Marvin is alive and is actually learning from what you are talking with him. So there is an AI platform under the hood, which then learns when you provide feedback. So this is one of the most important things, that Marvin really collects your feedback, analyzes what you did provide, and then optimizes himself for the next question. As well, he helps to optimize the knowledge base. So just given the fact that an article was provided, might not be enough to know, okay, it was used by the user. It's most important to get, was it really helpful for the user? So that feedback again is tied into the knowledge process, so to your overall handling, and will provide then the best articles for all of the other users. And for sure, we are using NLU, which is natural language understanding, compared to NLP. So NLP is just like, I guess many of you do have Alexa, and it's not like I need to go to Marvin and say, hey Marvin, I really need to have, or what's the weather now, what's the time now? No, he is really understanding the context you're talking with him. So it can be a fluent conversation where you, in some bits of a second, really then see this is the solution. What are now the advantages for the user, later on for the IT and the company? So a user will have fast around-the-clock resolution times and service experience. Just hit the channel, hit the chat, start typing, and you get feedback within a couple of seconds. So this is actually one of the findings as well from a Gartner demo or Gartner request, where they said, okay, usually when you have chat systems, a chatbot replies within 5 seconds. A human does within about a minute, so 60 seconds. So even that fast response makes a great user experience. And another point for the user is that they just can use one portal and use several channels. They don't need to recall any portal links, any addresses they need to go. It's just simply go talk with Marvin. And finally, they get the full transparency of the services by Marvin providing some answers to their questions, and later on even a status update on a ticket, on an order, for example. Yeah, and this finally will then increase their productivity because they don't need to think of all those additional things. And kind of bold statement at the bottom here is that Marvin is your new colleague who is always there for you and who will react very fast and quickly, and has actually nerves of iron or nerves of steel. How about IT, you might question now. So it's the improved service experience. It's the user experience. It's your marketing Marvin provides for you. It's the reduced workload because he just takes away all that white noise which is on the channel to allow you to really, or allow the IT to really work on the complex things, on the things they might want to improve to get even a better user experience. And for sure, there's a faster spin up and resolution time for items and tasks. Yeah, and all these, as I already said, will lead to have IT really working on the more complex things which require creativity. And What's the last advantage for the enterprise itself? So Marvin is scalable. He doesn't care if there are 20 new employees or if you just get a new company part which has 300 new employees. He's still there. He will work with you. Thus makes him really cost effective because it's just one guy helping many. And again, it's marketing for the overall company, the enterprise. You're using a cool new service which users are used to from their home, for example, and this then drives the overall user experience and helps you, for example, in the so current existing war for talents. And again, another bold statement. So Marvin is actually your 24/7 guy go-to, which is, and this is most important, is not on your payroll. And we did saw a little preview already during Dick's presentation. I want to head over to another one and see actually how Marvin works in production. So again, Horst does have some issues, so he's reaching out to Marvin and said, hey, I had an issue last days. Can you please show me which tickets are still open? It seems there was something with the printer which might be resolved. And then poor Horst, he has another issue that his internet was very slow yesterday. And you see, okay, there is a knowledge base article which helps him. He does check it. Oh, sometimes comes back, oh yeah, it did really help. So we are now in the improvement of Marvin. And again, an issue for him, he is not able to open a PST file because it's broken for something. But this time, unfortunately, the article couldn't help, so Marvin is asking if he should create a ticket for Horst. In this case, he requests the most common details like a summary, a little more description of everything, and is then actually posted to the service desk so that a human can take over. And with all these information, you get back the incident number, the ticket number, which you can later on request directly or see in the self-service portal, see in your email. And another request is now that Horst might want to open some software, which he can't find the software on his device. Again, asks how to open a certain file. Marvin says, yeah, we do have a service actually in the catalog to run it, and I see you don't have it installed. Would you like to install it? And final piece is then that really automation kicks off, install the software, and allows Horst to open this project file. What are we using for our Marvin is actually the Matrix42 AI platform. This is using all of our components, so the sources, which is the platform itself, the service catalog, the knowledge base, the service desk, self-service, just to name some examples. You see that violet box, there is many more things in there. And we then actually set up several channels. So currently we have the Teams channel for Marvin, which is using all those sources. We then will go and see later on the roadmap that we have the calling and the queuing. So the handover from Marvin as a chatbot to a human by really calling him. And actually some more service Marvin will provide in the future, which is the prediction. So I saw that your computer, for example, is getting slower and slower and slower. So maybe Marvin is reaching out to the user telling him, hey, you should probably clean up your disk. You have a lot of items on there, which is filling up and maybe sometime it will break. We will provide knowledge base as a service where we can get tons of articles just as a service. For example, if you are in Office 365 migration, just request the content, use it for a certain time, and you do have a knowledge base as a service using Marvin. As well, smart routing. This is all about who is the best guy to go to. So there are the skills in the company you do have, and we all tend to, okay, we know that guy is actually doing it. I can reach out to him. So we call him or phone him or text him. And actually now Marvin can help doing this and providing a better load sharing to all those guys with the knowledge. And last but not least, box here is similar tickets. So Marvin as well helps by his AI capabilities for the service desk agents to find really what are similar tickets in the system, even if you create it once at the time you create it, or if it's already in there. So to avoid duplicates, less load, less things to check. So I'd say don't miss your chance. As well, another Gartner statement is that 68% of service leaders indicate that bots and virtual assistance will be more important the next 2 years. So you see this is a very high percentage. And on the left hand, you see a little quarter where Marvin is actually, or AI bots and virtual customer assistants, the greenish one on the left top. And you see it's already from exploring, so the early adopters, moving to actually the adopting phase, and will sooner or later be fully embedded in all of the systems. And actually, we are ahead of Gartner already, because you see we do already fully embed Marvin into our system. In that regard, simply I want to thank you for joining us in the presentation, and looking forward to talking to you about Marvin.